Welcome, welcome, welcome to Clayton's Creations. Well, we're a family here. So come in, have a seat, get comfortable, because we got a treat for you today. Chicken Rasta Pasta. And I can't even lie, guys, just the sound of that is getting me a little hungry right now. So we should go ahead and talk about these ingredients so we can hurry up and get to it. So you're only going to need a couple of things, and before you know it, dinner's going to be on the table. So what we're going to need for today is going to be some chicken short thighs, some pasta, some half and half, some Italian blend cheese, green onions, green and red bell pepper, a little bit of butter and flour, some jerk marinade, and then you're going to need the following seasonings, okay? Lowry's, seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder, adobo, smoked paprika, black pepper. Now, of course, you have to eat this dish. So if there are some things along the way that you want to add yourself, feel free to do that. But I recommend you make it my way first before we start doing any remixing. Okay? So with that said, nothing left to do but dive right in. As previously discussed, here are the ingredients going into this delicious dinner tonight. Rasta pasta. So with no further ado, let's get into it. We got our cutting board, we got our knife, so let's get busy. We're going to start by cutting the tops and the bottom off of this red bell pepper. Then we're going to cut this in half, as you see here. We're going to need this to gain access to the whites inside of this pepper so we can clean the ribs out effectively. We don't want to leave any of that behind because it's going to cause the pepper to be bitter. Trust me, you don't want that in your final product. So once we have cleaned that, it's now time to julienne this pepper. Check out your boy's knife work. I know it's not perfect, but I'm getting there. Time is key. But for you, don't worry about the speed right now. Speed will come. Just worry about consistent cuts. So up next is this green onion. So we're going to cut the whites off. We're going to gather all our greens. And then we're going to let our knife dance once again. Watch me do my work. All right. I know I'm going to get killed in the comments. But normally, I have a cloth for under my cutting board. I see it slipping a little bit. It's not safe. Do as I say, not as I do. All right? So let's work on cleaning up these short thighs. We're going to get any excess fat off of here. And then looking for any bone or whatever because they're boneless. All right, so if there's anything left behind, anything that you don't want, anything that might damage your teeth, get that out of the way right now before we work on marinating this chicken. All right, so we're going to marinate this chicken. We're going to first start by putting in about a tablespoon of salt oil, as you see me do here. Once you do that, we're going to come in with our seasoning blend, some adobo, some seasoned salt, some Lowry's, onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, little paprika. And okay, I know what you're thinking. You're not seeing me use any measuring spoons for this. That's correct. I have a great connection with my ancestors, okay? So I just season this until they tell me, chow, well done. But for those of you not as in tune with your forefathers as I am, don't be ashamed to use a recipe. Okay, so once you've got your spices well distributed, it's time to come in with some Walker's Wood marinade. I would say probably about a quarter cup. We're going to get that in the chicken. And then it's time to massage your meat. Pause. Massage the marinade into the chicken. Once you get that all well coated, nicely distributed, it's time to introduce that to a hot pan. We're going to put those in presentation side down, pressing firmly so we get maximum surface area contact with the pan. It's going to help with the browning. And after all, brown meat tastes good. Pause. All right, so after a while, we're going to give those a little flipsy-do, probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Get some color going on those. And then after another 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to take those out. They should look delicious like this. And we'll set those aside and let them rest. Okay, so now it's time to build flavor in this Dutch oven. We're going to start by putting our veggies in there. Let them sweat down. After they soften, we're going to come in with that same spice blend from before. Because we're building flavor on flavor. Okay, so once we do that and they've softened a little more, we're going to come in with some butter. And then add to that some flour. All right, so once we mix that flour, we're going to come in with a little bit of our half and half so that we can deglaze our pan and also make sure there are no lumps in the roux that we created with that flour and butter from earlier. Once that's all done, we're going to pour in the rest of our liquid. Then we're going to want to give this a little stir. Once we get our pot to a simmer, we're going to come back in with the same seasonings I mentioned before. We're going to season it well because remember, flavor on flavor on flavor. Then we're going to mix this in, and now it's time to put in our cheese. All right, so once you do our cheese, it's going to come together really quick. So while at the same time we're doing this, we're going to want to go ahead and get those noodles boiling. It's going to take them about 10 to 11 minutes to get to al dente. You don't want to cook them any further than that because they're going to finish in your sauce. So in go the noodles, give them a stir and make sure they don't stick together. And once they're done, they go in with our sauce, just like you see here. Once we got all those noodles in the pan, we're going to give this another mix before we go give attention to that beautiful protein we cooked earlier. All right, so we're going to dice this up. And once we have all our protein diced up, we're going to add it back into that sauce with those noodles, just like you see here. Depth of flavor, guys. Like I said, flavor on flavor on flavor. We're going to mix this in. A lot of that jerk seasoning is going to get in there with that sauce, and it's going to make this dish meld together beautifully. Now we're going to add in those green onions you saw me chop up earlier. And then a little more mixing. So mix, 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 mix. And then after that, all we got left to do is plate. Plate us up a healthy portion with a little extra protein on top. Then a little green razzle dazzle for health, of course. And now there's nothing left for you to do but to grab you a fork, come get this plate, and dive in. Doesn't it look absolutely delicious? Bon appetit. All right, guys, that'll do it for today. But I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come by and check on me in my little corner of the internet. Also, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below of anything that you might want to see here on the channel, because after all, I'm here for you. Also, like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the heat we drop over here on Clayton's Creations. So with that being said, my final words to you today are, salud, mi familia.